Okay, so we're continuing on with Francois Tardieu's book, Backgammon Strategic Concepts, and we're working on prime versus prime, and we have a number of, uh, well, actually, we have five problems to look at. One of them I actually thought was easy. However, this is not one of them, the one that's on the screen now, because I did not get this one right, and uh, find it a little bit, well, find it, let's call it challenging. So what do you think is the right answer here? We're facing a five prime. We're not at the edge. We have rolled a one. Black is making his way past our prime, our Swiss cheese prime. So, what do we do? Any suggestions?
We could make a 5 point.
I would foolishly make the 5 point on his head.
Yeah,
Or we
well,
could hit.
that's what I foolishly did as well. It seems it strikes me as the obvious thing to do. I mean, you do want to, with the one you would really like to come to the edge, but you really can't let black
No,
escape you.
coming to the edge isn't important. I mean, the alternative is to hit two checkers
Yeah. Okay. Um,
and just
well,
hope he doesn't roll a five and then win the priming battle,
yeah.
which
Well,
isn't
yeah,
which
and
isn't
that
bad.
that that actually is the correct move, and making the 5 point is the blunder. Um, and everything else is a big blunder. Um, so uh, yeah, and it's basically as Kit said, you're gonna hope that he doesn't come in with the five. If he comes in with the five, you're kind of in a lot of trouble. Um, although maybe the backup is a back game since we have, you shouldn't have a lot of trouble coming
You're,
in.
you're just in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, the back game is not what you want to play anyway, but um, you are in a lot of trouble if you do get hit. Although, I mean, this gives us 40% wins according to XG, whereas making the 5 point is just 35% wins. Um,
How do we do on gammons?
Gammons, we're giving up 59%, but with the double hit and 64%. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wins.
Huh?
I'm sorry, 16% with the double hit and 11% making the 5 point.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah, but and so the argument here is that okay, first of all, you can't get hit off the five, but you can't give black's timing is really composed in these two checkers. Uh, for the most part, with a little bit of timing on the spares on his five prime. So the objective is to you know don't let black come in with a five and hit you. Make your own prime. You'll almost certainly you'll certainly make after this play. Um, you can't avoid not making the ace with a 5 point, and if you're not hit. Um, and therefore making your four prime, and you're on your way to making a longer prime, and maybe, well, actually you don't want black to dance. What you'd like is for black to come in and then break his own prime. But there's a fair bit of work to do to extend the four prime. Um, so this is a very difficult one to see. Tardieu's simple explanation
The key is that checker in the outfield, Black's checker on his 15 point is so valuable for the priming battle.
yeah,
What?
The bank wants to talk to you.
Is there a problem?
No. Here's your card.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess
Hello?
it's a trade-off. Apparently it is, but to me it was something of a trade-off of okay, if you have two checkers and you're not hit, black is likely to dance,
Start.
and that gives black more timing as well. And apparently that is not offset by the lack of timing that black comes in. So in order for black to crash, he has to not hit you in the 5 point, and he has to come in on the ace and the deuce with 2 checkers. And if he dances 2 or 3 times, well, if he hits you with a 5 point, you're in a lot of trouble. If he dances 2 or 3 times, you give up your timing as it is. So, I would have made the 5 point here and been wrong. Tardieu's explanation is when you are in a clearly losing prime versus prime situation, you must focus on forcing your opponent to break their own prime by playing proactively and taking risks. Never make your opponent's life easier than you need to. So, with that helpful explanation, I'm still baffled as to why the double hit is well so much better than just making the 5 point.
Really? Well, the whole point is, if you make the 5 point, and what are you rooting for? If he flunks, the timing is going against you, and if he comes in, things are still against you because he's got all that extra time to play with on that checker on the 15 point. Whereas if you double hit and don't get hit back, say he comes in with an ace or a deuce, now you make the 5 point. Now he's got 2 checkers stuck, and you've got about as many men to play with in the priming battle as he does.
Yeah.
That's
well,
that's the idea. I didn't.
I understand the idea. I'm having a difficult seeing because as if black doesn't hit you, then he's probably dancing with at least 1 checker.
Right. And now
if he dances once or more times.
And now you make your 5. Now you make your 5 point. Maybe you make your bar point, and maybe you'll have a 5 prime. The whole key is that checker on the 15 point gives him so much more timing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Apparently,
I didn't think it was worth it because of the gammon risk, but apparently the win probabilities outweigh him.
Yeah. Well, you're down 5% in gammons and up 5% in wins.
Yeah,
basically.
that surprises me.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that one. I don't know that I could ever get that one right, but let's go on to the next one. This one actually I did get right. And I thought it was fairly easy. So what do we do we have 4 ones to play. And it seems to me that there are good places for all 4 of them. So what do we do here?
I mean, probably just from most to least important, I would make the 23 point and then slot 7 point and then 14 to 12 just to get more cover numbers, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, actually that's exactly right. So
seems pretty routine.
Yeah, I mean this doesn't you've got to make the 2 point, the 23 point. Otherwise you can get knocked out or closed out. And you're facing a 6 prime. Your only chance of beating that is for black to crash. If black rolls a 6, he's going to win anyway. So you might as well slot it, and it's sort of thematic to slot the back of the prime anyway. You don't always necessarily slot it if black is at the edge because to avoid the 6 hit. But in general, it's usually right to slot the back of the 5 prime. And it's often right even when black is at the edge. So, and then after that, well, and the reason is black rolls a 6, you're in trouble anyway. And so you have to take the chance that he's not going to roll the 6. And then after that, you need to make the bar point, and the best way to do that is to bring the 14 checker around to the 12. So yeah, this one seemed pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, so because and you know this gives you it slots the points you want, makes your anchor so that you're not going to get closed out, and brings the maximum number of covers to make your own 6 prime. So anyway, that was one of the few in the book that I thought was pretty easy. Okay, 2-1 to play. One on the bar, ace point, and one on the ace point for black. So what are we doing here?
Doubt, whack him out.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think the question here is do you hit or not? And so I think if you're not going to hit, you're going to come in 7-5 and 3-2. And if you are going to hit, you're going to come 3-2 and 7-6. You know, 7-6 because you don't want to duplicate sixes. This guy comes in with a 6, but you want your sixes to come out. So we go 7-6. So that part is easy. The real question is, do you hit or not hit? And is there anyone who thinks they should not hit here? Okay. By the silence, I assume everyone thinks you should hit. Um, and actually, that is the right answer. And not hitting. This is the not hitting move is a blunder. And hitting is right, and 7-6 is right. And you know, I don't. Can anyone offer an explanation as to why?
Yeah, play to win.
Well, okay, but yeah, you need the time. You need timing to get your checker out. If you get your checker out, you probably win. If you get and with black on the bar, black is not going to break. Is not going to break his board. So you need to give yourself the maximum amount of chances to get out before your own board crashes. And so by hitting him, he's now got 2 in the bar. You know, if he doesn't come in, you kind of have a problem. But now you have both of you are going to have 2 checkers back with 1 on the bar. If you and here you've also after covering that I guess you've given yourself the most time that you can give before your board crashes to roll a 6 and get out. Because now you have 3 checkers on your 6, and even if you crash, black has to come in with 2 checkers. So that's about as good as you can do with that. And it's not bad at 64% win, so that's pretty good. Tardieu's explanation here is putting several opposing checkers on the bar is a tactic that can give you the time you need to escape checkers from behind your enemy prime, and will also give you more gammons. So, yeah, actually, yeah, if you don't put them on the bar, your gammons are going to be down quite a bit. Let's see, it's 41% gammons putting them on the bar and 34% without them on the bar. So it's actually still pretty good without him on the bar. But you know, obviously, if he comes in and anchors, gammons are going to go way down. All right, next one. Okay, 4-3 to play. What do we do and why? Any suggestions?
I break our prime. Two
Yeah.
checkers move from the 8 point.
Both in from the 8, so 8, 5, 8, 4.
Yeah, that's got more prospect of not crashing
Yeah.
further.
And okay.
This is really complicated.
I have to say that's probably what I would do or would have done.
And there's a lot to be said for just hitting.
Yeah.
Because the timing's in his favor, which
Yeah.
means that because he's got the Tim in the outfield, so if he can attack the blot on his 4 point, we've got problems. And one way to stop that is by putting him on the bar. I don't know if it works or not, but I think that might be better. Slotting the 2 point doesn't look right at all.
Yeah. Well, typically it's often right to extend the prime by sliding it, but yeah, in this case, it is the hit. That's right, by a lot. And it's Black's timing here. Well, I should say that I'll show you a different. Black does have tremendous timing, and by hitting, we're taking these checkers away from him for the time being. And again, giving us more time to pop out. We do risk getting hit, of course. And then
getting hit, well, I mean, it's bad, but it's not, maybe we'll anchor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if we hit, he's got to use an ace to hit, and that takes care of that ace, duplicates that ace. Whereas if we don't hit, there are a number of rolls that are going to point on us and send us back.
Is it all set?
Yeah.
Which is not what we want. And Black has plenty of time anyway with these two checkers here. Now, I'll read you the explanation here. Which he says, went ahead in the race, so with less timing, destabilize your opponent with a shot and giving yourself some time to escape is better than trying to play a losing prime versus prime game. So again, this is about timing, giving ourselves some timing to get the 6 to come out. And we're taking some risk here by putting them on the bar, leaving our own blot to do so. However, the explanation is not quite complete. So here's a different situation. Same roll. Difference is, oops, gave the answer. Hope you didn't look at the answer. Even more timing for Black, because now he's got 4 checkers on the midpoint. No checkers here. So now here, what are we looking for? Are we going to hit loose here, or are we going to break the 8 point? So any ideas as to how this has changed, or how the change and this is going to change the answer?
Well, yeah, he doesn't have any builders to hit loose with, so we're not afraid of that.
Right.
So, if we break the 8 point, what can he do? He moves, and then if we roll a 6, we run. If we don't roll a 6, we go after him.
Yeah.
Safely.
Okay. So yeah, and that's correct. So this shifts it over. I guess the explanation that was given was that it was all because of the timing. And it really, and now Black has more timing, but the answer has changed. And so what we were really worried about before in the other case were the 2 spares that could allow us to be knocked off for 4 point. Again, this one Here it's a blunder to hit. And in this case, it's a blunder not to hit. And the difference is, yeah, timing factors in, but it's really these two spares here that are going to push us back. And that's the difference here. Okay. All right, double twos to play.
I'd come in with one.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's right, Kit. What about the other? What about the other three?
Huh. Let's see.
Well, so okay, let's do
Well,
the
13 and 9 looks right. It's the last deuce I can't figure out.
yeah. So we've got to if we do this, which that to me that has to be right, and yes, it's the last one that we do because now you've got a broken 6 prime, and that's pretty good. And so the question is, I think, are you going to go 8 to 6 or 13 to 11? And obviously 8 to 6, you're not giving up any the shots 5-2 or 6-1, but you're basically giving up on your 6 prime. It's going to be very hard to make that. Well, effectively you can't really make your 6 prime if you take away that from the 8 point. But on the other hand, if you come down here, you're giving him a shot, which is going to be a problem.
No, the shot's not fatal exactly.
It's not fatal, but it's not ideal. I mean, you don't want to get you really don't want to get hit here.
Well, I mean, some duplication. 3-1 and 6-1 are great for him anyway. I think I'd go all out.
With this play?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Looks so nice when it works.
Yeah, and that is the right play. And the 8 to 6 is a blunder, and anything else is an even bigger blunder. You really have to at least try to make the prime, the 6 prime. And if not the 6 prime, then at least you have a chance to roll this forward. The explanation here is when trailing in the race, focus on building a 6 prime, even if it means risking a few shots. You must quickly restrain your opponent's back checker. Yeah, so obviously this is the best way to restrain the back checker. He's got a couple shots to come out now, but if he doesn't, you're going to be able to make the 8 more than likely. And then black is behind the 8 ball for this instead of us. So, okay, next one.
Huh. No, what fun. Well, we'll start with playing 8 to 2.
Yeah, I mean this is the only 6. There's no reason to even think about hitting off the ace point.
If we do that, he does that.
Yeah. So, and then with the one, I mean, you're not going to hit 2-1.
No, we're
Because you're looking for black to crash. And so the question is, what's the best way for black to crash? And I would say, is it 3-2 or is it 6-5?
it feels like 6-5, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at all the possibilities. If he rolls a deuce, we're dead. Whatever we do, might even be better to be hit. If he doesn't roll, if he rolls an ace, we don't mind that so much. If he rolls neither, we're in great shape. Yeah, I think 6-5 is right.
Yeah.
It'll certainly win more. It might get gammon more also, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and 6-5 is right. Although this making the point is not too far off. But it is 6-5. Much more wins, 44-38. But you're giving up more gammons. It looks like 25-15. So, many more, 7% more wins, but also 10% more gammons. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to get black to collapse, and if he rolls big numbers, um, he may collapse next time or comes closer. And if he rolls small numbers, we're going to get hit, and but it will at least we'll maintain our 5' while we try to come in off the bar.
Or try to not come in.
Or try to not come in. Hopefully black crashes before we come in, because otherwise we crash first. But anyway, that's the idea behind that one. And this one is not bad either. Again, yeah, and a 2 is bad for us in either case. Okay. All right. Last one for tonight. All right, so here I think the question is, well,
We own the cube through all this? Oh my
we have the
God.
cube, yes. Yeah, to me, the question is to slot or not to slot the 4-point.
Well, if we slot and he doesn't hit, we can claim with the cube, I think.
Yeah.
If we don't slot, still gonna have a pretty strong position. If he doesn't come in. And we don't need the 4-point. All we need to do is escape. And getting hit is a major calamity. I would play safe.
Yeah. And so what's the best place? How's the best place to place? Best way?
13 to
13-9, 11-8.
to go all out here.
Yeah, so maybe the answer which is not to slot. I think you're
I
with
wouldn't
a
give
few
you the,
thoughts. Yeah, slotting is probably not the right idea at all. But do you,
go
the
all
safe
out.
the 13-8, 13-9, 11-8 gives you the most covers or most chances of making the 4-point next. However, that's risk is the highest risk play in that you've got 4-3, 4-4, and 4-5 to come out and hit. In addition to 4-2, 4-3, well, I guess just 4-2 to hit on the other side.
I mean, the all-out play, if he flunks, I think we can win with the cube. Now, suppose we make the safe play and he flunks. How strong are we? He's strong. Basically, all we have to do is roll a 6 before he rolls a 4.
Yeah. So some of the alternate plays, you could cover the 7, make it go 11-7 and down 13-10.
That's the obvious safe play.
Yeah, or 13-7.
I mean, 13-6, you mean?
Yes, I'm sorry, 13-6.
Why leave a 4-3? Oh, I guess 4-3 is good for him anyway.
Yeah, 4-3. He's going to come out and hit you. If this is covered, 4-3, he's going to hit you in the inner board.
I don't know. I guess I just leave fewer blocks.
Okay, so the answer here is really the maximum risk play. I would say not the maximum risk play. The slotting play is the second best play. That's plus these. Which interesting enough, he didn't. It's the second. Is it? No, yeah, slotting play. It's the third best play. Tardieu didn't show it in his book. This option, but to me that would be the thing that I would consider. His explanation is when you have the cube, always consider a play that takes a moderate risk, but which could let you send a great cube the next roll. So he's saying after this roll, you're going to send the cube. So I'm assuming obviously black doesn't come in. I didn't look at it before, but I'll look at it now as to not that one. Let's look at this position. Let's turn the cube the other way. So how is this going to change the answer? Well, let's find out. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so this
It's just the best play, apparently.
Yeah, so this is the what he called the moderate risk play, which was the best play in the other situation. This is the second best play, third best play. So the slotting play went from second to worst, not worst, but fourth, say. Not a blunder, but not the greatest. So I don't think the cube made that much difference here. Here's the original position. And the slotting play is a blunder. Now, where's the slotting play? Here's the slotting play. The slotting play is a blunder, but it's the third best play. But these other plays are also blunders, and this is by far the best play. So I mean, the cube made this even more of the best play, but it's still the best play.
But you play more conservatively when in this instance, when the other party is holding the cube, you're inclined to play more conservatively. Is that what this is saying?
I wouldn't interpret it that way.
You're not.
Generally, with the cube turns, and if you have the advantage, you want to play more aggressively to get the gammon, because the gammons are going to be worth an extra 2 points instead of 1.
I thought there was a maximum that when you hold the cube, you play more conservatively, and when your opponent holds the cube, you play more aggressively. I'm not sure why that is, but I've heard of that.
What do you think about that, Kit? Do you
I'm
play
sorry?
more conservatively with holding the cube or less conservatively?
Depends on the position.
Okay.
I don't think you can define it as conservative, or non-conservative. It depends what's likely to happen in variations.
Yeah.
Who's likely to get an efficient cube and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So
I
there's
don't-
the answer, Jim, is it depends. So
Well, the,
write that down.
the answer is the kid disagrees. It says it depends on the situation and there's no general maxim. So, okay, I'm deleting that from my memory.
Okay. All right. So with that one, we'll end it for this week and we'll go on to the Chouette.